Joining us right now from CNBC, also our colleague here on WMAL, as you can hear him every Saturday night at 7 p.m., Larry Kudlow, the next senator of the great state of Connecticut.
Is this Senator Larry Kudlow on the line? See, I didn't get a crack at this last week. I was gone.
Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
So get ready.
Get ready.
All right, we got plenty to talk to you.
How's the pay on that thing?
Look at he's checking it out.
It's not all that great.
Oh, you're made of money, Kudlow. You don't need to worry about that anymore. You're a self-made man. Listen, we want to get into the Greek thing. We talked about it a little bit last week. It's interesting how it's developed, actually. And we also want to talk about this potentially looming problem in China. But I got to bring back this Donald Trump thing because it won't go away. Everyone's talking about it. And frankly, when it comes to the crime aspect of illegal immigration, and let's face it, part of this is true. There are people who come over this country for nefarious reasons. Not all of them, but some do. When the argument is had in that context, I think it does make for very stimulating conversation, and it's a part of the conversation that isn't had very often. Here's Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who I know you're a huge fan of, and you like Rudy a lot. He defended Donald Trump yesterday. Let's take a listen to what he said.
Most of the people who come in, even those who come in illegally, come in to work. It's a simple reality. But then, because people can come in illegally, terrorists, drug dealers, rapists, murderers, all of whom I've prosecuted at one time or another, are able to get in. So I would have said it differently, but I do think he's gotten onto an issue that's important, which is making our borders secure. And we have failed at that.
Larry Kudlow, what's to disagree with the mayor there?
I didn't hear it.
Oh, you couldn't hear it? He basically said, listen, the majority of people who come here are coming here for a better life, but because we have open borders, people do come here and commit crimes. They do rape, they do murder, they do bring drugs. I know because I prosecuted them, Rudy Giuliani said.
And he said he would have said it differently, but he doesn't necessarily disagree.
And isn't it something the Republicans should address?
That's the key point. Look, no one denies that there are gigantic problems on the border. No one. I mean, not a single person. However, it's still a minority. Most people do come here for a better life. That's an important point. Second point is you got to move the troops to the border. You know, right now the troops are 50 miles away from the border. By the way, Governor Rick Perry, during the crisis, when was it, last summer, he put the troops on the border. And Perry keeps making this point, and nobody listens to him. So that's an important thing. Now, as far as Trump goes, Trump's whole his tone, his attitude is so hostile and negative and attacking that he's going to turn off a potential Republican constituency. I mean, a lot of Hispanics in America who vote agree that the border story is a terrible story. But when you start calling them names, then they get up, their back gets up. And I couldn't, I agree. I understand.
Larry, I just want to join you in this conversation for a second, because you said the vast majority don't come here to commit crime.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, you may be right, but here's my problem. We don't know that. We don't know it because the Federal Bureau of Prisons and various government agencies don't actually release information about illegal immigrants in our prison system. Why shouldn't we, just for the sake of having a real conversation about our immigration policy, shouldn't the government tell us how many illegal immigrants are in our prisons? And wouldn't that be valuable?
Their estimates, I don't know what they are, but
it should be pretty easy to figure out, shouldn't it?
Disproportionate. That's a piece of the issue. But again, I think everyone agrees about the need for border security. Okay, but what Trump said was over the edge. The way he said it, the way he expressed himself, harsh language. It's exactly what Republicans should not do. It could be very damaging to a party that A, wants to fix the problem, and B, wants to reach out to that legal Hispanic community. And incidentally, I have not heard, and this is a key point, and I really wish Trump would come out with, what is his solution, okay?
Yeah.
We're not going to have a wall that stretches the entire length of the border. It's not going to happen. Mexico is not going to pay for a wall, even though there probably are spots, and Perry has said this, 100-mile spots, for example, in the Texas border that could use a wall, okay? But Mexico is not going to pay for an entire wall. It's a stupid thing for Trump to say. Furthermore, Trump says that Mexico, meaning the government of Mexico, is sending these bad characters over here. Now, he's got to document that because, so far as I know, the government of Mexico is not sending anybody. Most of these people come here for a better life. And the illegality is horrible, but they come for the good reasons, okay? And Trump is absolutely false in blaming the Mexican government, which is our friend and our second largest trading partner, and millions of Americans go to Mexico every year for either tourism or retirement or you name it. I mean, to blame the government of Mexico is just completely off the charts. He has no evidence that that is the case.
Well,
what's his fix? What's his positive fix? That's the $64,000 question.
All right.
All right.
Let me get another question here,
That's
because
what bugs me about Mr. Trump. I mean, yes, he's touching on a problem.
Right.
It's not new.
All right.
But his tone is so harsh that he may cause great damage to the Republican Party.
All right, let me get another question in here, because we got this Greek crisis going on. And I read this morning, there's an interesting story that says that, the Chinese economy and the Chinese markets are in turmoil as well. That's something I had not seen before.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm wondering, I think you're on record as saying, Greece, if they default, it doesn't really impact the United States all that much. What about China?
Yeah, China's a bigger issue than Greece. I mean, at least for the world.
And we're not
economy.
paying attention to that, are we?
Well, look, the markets are. I mean, China has had a very rough patch in the last, month or so. I think they've lost about almost a quarter of at least one of their stock market values. Now, let me say, in fairness, year on year, China is, let's see, the Shanghai is up 83%. The Hang Seng is up 7%. So even with the corrections, they're way up. However, I agree with you. The Chinese economy is suspect, and it appears that the government of China is now moving back in the direction of managing the economy in a lot of different ways, including this bailing out the state-owned enterprises. They're trying to ease money, lower their reserve requirements and target rates, but people are worried that China is going to prop up all of these state-run enterprises. So, at the moment, people are asking very tough questions about China. But I just want to flip quickly to Greece, The Kudlow Greece solution is completely anti-IMF. I said this on the air yesterday. We did a lot of it on CNBC. Greece needs a growth solution. So, A, they have to get rid of this communist government they have. That's number one. B, they have to actually go to a low-rate flat tax, the way all the Eastern European countries did after the Soviet Union fell. And C, they have to sell off all their state-run assets. They own power companies, electric companies, airports, they own everything. That's the big problem in Greece.
All right.
The IMF wants to do. And they should sell off their uninhabited islands, those Greek islands, and let Donald Trump make golf courses there so he won't run for president and destroy the GOP.
Very quickly, that's a good idea. And very quickly, have you come any closer to making a decision about whether you're going to run for the Senate seat in it's either New York or Connecticut? It's great to be you and have all those choices.
It is great to be me. I think you're absolutely right about that. And it's great to talk to you guys. And my answer is thank you for asking, and I'm thinking about it. I'm looking at it. That's best I can say at the present time.
As compared to where you were last week, any closer? Very quickly.
I think very slowly. It's part of my issue.
All right. Larry, thank you so much.
Have a great one, gentlemen.
Thank you, Larry.